Welcome to CMZ Live. I'm Laura Klutz, one of the associate animal curators here at Cleveland Metro Park Zoo, and I am so excited to join you for today's live stream featuring gorillas. Tune in now to learn about our troop, and please drop any questions you have in the comments. Cleveland Metro Park Zoo's gorilla troop has 8 members, and that consists of 1 silverback male, 4 adult females, 1 toddler, and 2 babies. And who is on the screen right now is Makolo. He is our one and only silverback. He is turning 38 on July 10th, and he spent over 30 years here at Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. He was born at the Lincoln Park Zoo and came to us when he was about 7 or 8 and has been through all stages of life with us. He was what we call punk blackback, which means he was a little bit older than a juvenile gorilla and then transitioned into that silverback. So you'll notice Kayembe, our other little boy in the group, doesn't have any silver on his back, but when he grows up and is big like Makolo, he's gonna look exactly like him. So there's little Kayembe. You can tell he's still a toddler. He is 3 years old. He'll turn 4 in October. But can you believe that 50-pound little rambunctious toddler is going to weigh up to 400 pounds and be as big as his daddy, Makolo? And we can't forget about the kids. We already talked about Kayembe, but of course we have our 2 little girls, Kunda and Jamila. On the view right now is actually little Miss Jam. She, as most of you know, is our newest addition to our gorilla family. She was born at the Fort Worth Zoo, and her mother unfortunately had to have an emergency C-section procedure, and from there couldn't be integrated into that family group. So Jamila had to find a family at another zoo institution, and we pretty much have the best foster gorilla in Frederica. She is the one that Jam is riding on. Freddie is our 51-year-old gorilla. She is having her birthday on June 5th, so next week. And we are just lucky that Freddie took on the care of Miss Jam, and she is 1 year old. She's gonna turn 2 next January. So she's our youngest member, but she's doing so good. And then our other little girl is Kunda. Her mom is Katie. And Kunda is just 6 months older than Jamila. So it's gonna be so great having these little girls grow up together and be pretty much sisters, because that's how they recognize each other. And they are just so fun to watch. So hopefully you're gonna see some interactions. And if it doesn't happen on the live stream, they are playing all the time together. So the troop consists of 5 adult gorillas: Makolo, who's our silverback, which was on the screen previously, KB, Freddie, Nanika, and Tusa. So who you are looking at right now is Miss Tusa. We mentioned that Freddie is turning 51 next week. Tusa's our next oldest female at 35. And then KB is just a year younger at 34. And then Nanika is our youngest adult female at 26, but she'll be turning 27 in September. So all of these females live in a hierarchy ranking, which means they kind of have a role of who's in charge, and that fluctuates based on what's going on in the group. Maybe who has a baby, who has a better relationship with the silverback, what females are more besties than other females, and that can change over time. So right now, Freddie and KB are our kind of in charge females because they have the babies. Nika's a close second and backs them up, and then someone's always gotta be on the bottom, and that's Tusa, but she's still a strong member of our troop. So western lowland gorillas are typically found in tropical forests, and some areas may include swamp forests, some clearings or forest edges. So when you come and see our gorillas on exhibit, you're more than likely going to see them with pieces of tree branches, what you just saw Makolo munching on. And that's called pieces of browse. And because they live in forested areas, they eat a lot of things off the trees, like the leaves and the bark and things like that. And their digestive system is so hardy because they're hind gut fermenters, they can digest that material. So that's a lot of their diet that we provide here on top of the leafy greens and different things you're gonna see them eat. A lot of people think that gorillas love fruit and bananas, but they really don't eat those kinds of things. So we try to mimic their diet as much as we can in the wild, and based on where they're found in the wild, that's what we provide here in Cleveland. So western lowland gorillas are critically endangered. So we are very lucky that everybody local in Cleveland and those of you joining us on the live stream can witness these amazing animals. And it's interesting because their lifespan is a little bit different than you would think humans, even though they are great apes and humans are great apes. The silverbacks, like Makolo, are pretty lucky if they make it into their 40s. So Makolo turning 38 means he's getting the best care here in Cleveland, and we're hoping that he's with us many more years. The females can typically live longer than that, maybe because of the size is smaller and the body size, and maybe because they don't have as much stress as the silverback and they need to be the peacekeepers of their group. Females sometimes can live in managed care up to mid to low 60s. So even though Freddie, being our oldest one, turning 51, we're hoping that she's with us many, many more years. So gorillas communicate using auditory and visual signals and sometimes even odors. So one of the perfect example of this is who is on your screen right now, Mr. Makolo. Sometimes if you come to our exhibits, you can smell the gorillas before you actually see them. And that's because Makolo musks sometimes. And that can be set off by the females or different behavior in the troop. So that's one way he communicates. But if you're lucky enough, sometimes you can catch one of his grumbles, especially when he's interacting with one of his kiddos. You're gonna hear a low rumbling vocalization, and that's to communicate kind of like a hello or a calm, like, let's interact. And then even sometimes when they initiate a play session, you'll hear the kids do a small little laugh behavior with an open mouth and teeth baring. Some people misinterpret that as aggression, but we call that the best play face in the world. So gorillas live in groups known as troops, and troops can include the one male leader called the silverback, several adult females, and their babies. The other way that gorillas live are in bachelor groups. So Makolo actually lived in a bachelor group for one of the longest standing groups, over 20 years. And when he found himself alone, we decided to bring in females and have him have the opportunity to be a father. And Makolo's been one of the best fathers that we've seen here. And we actually have some of the best moms in some of our gorillas. So we kind of talked about Freddie, how she's an amazing foster mom. She's been a mom on her own to babies that she's actually given birth to, and now taken on 2 foster moms between Kayembe and Jamila. And then we have another amazing mom in KB, as she's the mom of Kunda. So gorillas can absolutely be the best moms there are. They care for these kiddos all the way up until the age of 6, teach them all the skills they need to know before those kiddos go off and have to be kind of grown-ups and their own individuals. So we also have Nanika here, and Nanika was the one that was Kai's birth mom. Unfortunately, she kind of undercooked him and popped him out about 6 weeks premature, and then Freddie stepped in to be that mom. So even though not every single gorilla turns out to be a mom, there's so many gorillas that are females in family groups that take on that role and are the best mom in some capacity, whether that's a foster or a birth mom. Cleveland Metro Park Zoo is a long-term leader in gorilla research as well as care and management. We've talked about their diet a little bit, and we're actually really proud that what we feed our gorillas in Zoo World is labeled actually the Cleveland diet. So we feed them about over 80 pounds of greens. You see some of those lettucey type things scattered around their exhibit. They get alfalfa, which you see the female eating right there, and those tree branches. They get about a truckload of tree branches a day. So they do get other things like green vegetables, like green beans and things like that when they're separated and in individual spaces, so they don't have to compete because they actually love their green beans. So other zoos have actually adopted this diet and feed out this diet, and we're finding through research that it's actually affecting their health overall and giving them the best well-being possible. So on top of that research, based on the foster training that we've been able to do and our cardiac care that we provide to our gorillas, we like to keep advancing all of our techniques to give these guys the best care possible. And whether that involves training for physical therapy because Fred's getting a little bit older, or cardiac training, or blood draw training, all of our gorillas work on giving us a voluntary blood sample with our vet technicians. So just sometimes you go to the doctor and have to get your blood drawn. They put their arm in a special contained sleeve because, let's be honest, we don't share space with our gorillas. That's a little too dangerous. We train them to positively have a really good training session and work with us and our keepers to give them the best care. So we also do echocardiograms on our silverback Makolo because heart disease is very prevalent in the gorilla community. And I'm excited that we give our gorillas the best care so that they're going to be with us so many more years. So learn more about what you can do to make a difference at futureforwildlife.org. You can visit futureforwildlife.org to learn more about what you can do to make a difference and help the zoo secure a future for wildlife and wild places. Thank you so much for tuning in to our CMZ Live with the gorillas, and stay tuned for our next show.